Hi Hinsters, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome too. And welcome to the next edition of the streams of Creme Brulee, the exploration of Venus's transits through the zodiacal signs. Today we are talking about Venus in Scorpio, spanning the period September 23rd to October 17th, 2024. And Venus has her detriment in Scorpio, and the host of this transit is Mars over in Cancer in his fall. And Venus is pretty otherwise uninhibited in Scorpio this time around, and she is what I call of her own accord. So she's still, even though she's in her detriment, she's able to act quite independently and have quite a considerable say in things. So this is big and breathtaking energy. We are in the dragon year, and it may be a good luck, or it may be good to luck at where we have Scorpio in our birth charts, where we can kind of sizzle up this scorpionic energy, because that is the house where for a lot of people a kind of dragon purge occurs, or where there is an urge to protect. And Scorpio is typically associated with things like scorn, so it is wise to watch out for this kind of thing, and also things like revenge and hater energy. I also recently learned this term of like people being, or a person in a group being a whipping post. People who are like deliberately left out of things or left out of the loop. So please watch out for being a part of any kind of dynamic like that, a group that just doesn't want you there, for example, or a space that doesn't want you there. Venus and Scorpio can really bring that up. And Venus has since ancient times been associated with blood and blood sacrifice and blood ceremony and ritual. And well, the mosquitoes are back, definitely back in action here in Korea, and Venus, continues yes, to lead the planetary procession here. So people will easily be out for blood if need be. And this is kind of like the dragon in the lair, protecting his resources type of thing. And there can be a greed for things and for money here. And Scorpio heavy people can often be found kind of donning gold. So maybe people get more into that gold, flashy, blingy kind of vibe, especially if they have a lot of Leo in the chart as well. But Scorpio energy easily brings things like obsessions and addictions. They're more likely, and kind of this sort of space of pleasant but deadly things getting kind of harder to kick or give up. But things and people can also have a more sort of raw or understated beauty or power or a kind of pull to them. And it's kind of like some biker chick in a leather jacket who is like unbothered and just living their life, cherry on the top kind of thing. Yeah, Venus enters Scorpio also at the autumn equinox, spiritually speaking. And here in Korea, the weather has just kind of changed, just like that, with a click of the fingers. And it's now like much cooler, and there's this beautiful hazy gold to the air where I am, and like the blues and the greens of the sky and the mountains and the hills, they kind of blur together in this sort of lovely, almost lazy, but also kind of crisp way or feel. And Libra season energy can be like that. It can feel like you're living in a filter or looking through one of those lovely filters. And Libra season also, by the way, being a season full of book energy, it can bring things like bibliomancy to the surface for some people. Things like drawing lots and the I Ching and fortune cookies, things like this. And also like reading voraciously, however reading is construed or defined for these individuals, but like reading voraciously about something. Again, obsessions, it can be really wanting to get to the very bottom or the end of a subject, for example. And Venus in Scorpio especially is also about the brutality and the awe of nature, Mother Nature, let's say. And this is kind of like Iceland energy, the country Iceland. One of my favorite Scorpios, Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, is Björk, the artist from Iceland. And I often on my channel, when Scorpio season comes around, and it's coming soon, I talk about her a lot. But anyway, that's kind of those vibes as well. And the vibe can also be very chill here. Yes, Venus, she's the vibe, she's the ruler of the vibe, and we can get a lot further and a lot quicker when we keep things chill or calm and cool and collected. And Venus in Scorpio lends itself usually to things like detoxing. There can also be, especially with the sun in his fall in Libra right now, there can be this theme of like unwelcome discoveries. This is kind of like you find that you have mice in your house, or someone finds something that's very hidden or low key, or something low key becomes kind of more felt or of a higher, more audible frequency. Even if it's just like subtly felt, it is being more felt now. Or this can be about unpleasant news, or like jumping to conclusions, or having to kind of like calmly explain something again and kind of clear the air sign Libra season, or clear confusions as well. And it's a bit like, no, this has already been sorted in Virgo season. It's kind of like when you're bundling up like sheaths of hay. Like everything's been like bundled up, and it's like sitting there and it's waiting in the barn or wherever the frig it's going to be, right? It's there, it's already been picked, bundled, it's placed. And so there's kind of that need in Libra season, especially, and then later into Scorpio season. And during this Venus in Scorpio transit generally, there's this need to kind of really reassert that for some people in some situations. Like, no, this has been already answered or sorted. And we're kind of like done with this and that. So try not to let people or things throw you back into this confusion, or get pulled into someone's confusion, or even someone's obsession about a certain detail that's kind of a dead thing or a dead horse, or to other people's like miscommunications or misinterpretations. Some significations from this Chris Brennan book that I sometimes show, which is Hellenistic Astrology. Some significations that I thought kind of nicely echoed for this Venus and Scorpio transit included priesthoods. Yes, Venus rules priesthoods. And in Scorpio, this can be a kind of discovery of, or getting more interested in something like a priesthood or some kind of group, like a secret or lesser known group, and kind of getting more involved or interested in their activities. And also, Brennan mentions this is about like the wearing of crowns, maybe gold crowns especially, and like the wearing of wreaths as well. Venus, she is the ruler of adornments and decorations, and also refined arts, Brennan mentions. And I like this one a lot for arts, kind of like that have a lot of intensity, or kind of a hard grind to them when Venus is in Scorpio. And I'm thinking of stuff like gem cutting, or like jewelry making or setting, something like that. And Brennan also lists the acquisition of additional property as being under the rule of Venus. And in Scorpio, this energy can only get more resourceful and kind of industrious. This is very Scorpionic. And Venus is also the ruler of market overseers, as Brendan points out. And I see a lot of people during this transit having to watch or get things in order when it comes to their money or their assets, bonuses, loans, pensions, things like this. Debts as well can definitely be brought up. It's not necessarily something urgent necessarily, because Venus presents more of a softness, but it can be something that needs to be tended to. Brennan also talks about purple dyes, which I like, and like purple royal regalia when he talks about Venus. And I like this also during Scorpio season then, or during a Scorpio transit then, because this feminine Mars ruled fixed water sign of Scorpio is sort of more of that kind of purple, deeper bruise colored hues. It's kind of that sphere of colors. And I also think that Venus and Scorpio can be or feel like glass blowing and doing something like very intensely, or sweating over something or for something, and creating something beautiful at the end of it, or something very also reliable or like steadfast or solid. I think of like cocoons, and if you played Pokemon like I did in the 90s, early 2000s, cocoons like Kakuna and Metapod, it's kind of like when they always use the move Harden and they just get higher and higher and higher in defense. That's also kind of a very Scorpio vibe. So the wanting to cocoon oneself becomes increasingly evident or prominent for people. And it's kind of like, also to go back to the glass blower, it's kind of like the artwork is complete now, or something is ready for display or ready for sale. And people can also be working hard to sell themselves during this time, whether that's like in the job market, or whether that's like the loyalty of their personality, or the depth of their authenticity, or something like that. People can really want to push like the purest version of their authenticity or their energy out in a Scorpio transit. Okay, I had some little notes as well on the rising signs. I'm just going to very quickly go through some things for each of you. So we have for Scorpio rising, then this transit can be feeling more attentive. It can also feeling more attentive because this is spider archetype, by the way. Scorpio, it's a spider archetype, and putting Venus in your first house then can make you as an individual more kind of like spidey sensey, picking up on those softer, more subtle things even more than you usually do, Scorpio. And also you can be feeling more attractive, and you can be attracting nicer things. For Sagittarius rising, then this is secret rendezvous. This is intense dreams. And this is like a message also for you to watch your friends, quote unquote, your friends, watch them carefully. Then we have Capricorn rising. So for you, this is finally a wish coming true. Or you can really feel it's again Scorpio, typical Scorpio energy. You can feel like the volcano is about to erupt in some sense, some area of your life, Capricorn. And this is also like die hard kind of friend vibes. Aquarius rising, we have peacock energy. That's what I've got for you this time around. Peacock energy, like really just somehow, whether for better or worse, like you're making yourself known or felt. And this is also stuff like good things coming to you or for you at work. Pisces rising, then this is faith and beliefs, and they kind of are making more sense to you, or God makes more sense to you, something like that. And there's a kind of unity as well of beliefs. I get more like high holisticism coming through for a lot of you Pisceans. And also this can be like devoutness and devotion. Is devoutness a word? It is now. Devoutness, devotion, and like passionate beliefs as well. That doesn't have to be to do with religion or spirituality necessarily. It can be something that you just generally think to be part of your right way, Pisces, like how you see things in the world, in life, and kind of the path you see, and just basically kind of more of a developing more of a passion for that and about that. And then we have Aries. So for Aries rising, this is debts being paid. This is also attracting kind of strong and reliable contracts with people. Taurus rising, this is you being attracted to potentially a keeper. So finding a really nice committed partner, or your current partners become more kind of strong or solid in some sense. And also this can bring for some Taurians like feisty or scary enemies or oppositional types of people. Gemini rising, this is health or illness or like suffering, these types of thing, or bad fortune even kind of alleviates for you. Venus, she's the alleviator as well, and she kind of brings more of a softening to something that might be like bad luck that you've been going through recently. And also, this is like you rewarding kind of loyal people who provided you with a service, or maybe you're going to pay someone a little bit more for something that they do for you. Cancer rising. So for Cancer rising, this is hello there. Thank you for your messages, by the way. Do give me a comment. And it's nice. I will read your comments and reply to you very soon. Cancer rising, though, for Cancer rising, this is fighting for love for a lot of you. This is because very soon we will have not just Venus trining your ascendant Cancer, but you will have an increase in this Mars Venus square, Mars being the ruler of squares. So very important. Look at my Libra season video. I talk about the two kind of big better periods of Libra season there. But anyway, for Cancer risings, other Cancer risings, this is going to be like sex bomb energy as well. This is also going to be fighting with kids or like tension with kids because you have a lot of fifth house energy being made apparent here. And also Venus is in her joy in your fifth house, Cancer. So things like dating as well, or love, romance can really be sizzling and spicing up or getting solidified, kind of like what I mentioned with the Kahuna and Metapod Pokemon and wanting to make themselves harder and harder and harder or more solid. Leo, then, Leo rising, we have for you intense and increased kind of releases and relations when it comes to your literal mother or other maternal members of your family. And for other Leo risings, this can be like home, family, and the sense of stability, all that kind of stuff feels more secure, feels more solid, and these things like roots even can be more trusted. Or maybe for some Leo risings, this is literally about you're settling into a new home, or you finally feel like somewhere where you've moved is your home now. Virgo rising, then we have for you, this is loving your environment. So loving the things, the people around you. Maybe you're noticing more synchronicities during this time. You're becoming more sensitive to the things and people around you. It's easier for you to read the room, Virgo. And this is also better or tighter relations with your friends or with your siblings or with your neighbors. Again, people kind of around you. Things could just get like nicer for you, Virgo. Finally, Libra rising, we have more acute spending. That's what I have for you. So kind of like very acute or focused or poignant spending. So maybe investing a lot in a very specific thing, Libra rising. And also for some, this is like money issues improving because again, Venus, she brings a softening. And for you, this is your second house, Scorpio. So money, assets, so things getting a bit easier for you in that realm. And also this can be for some Libra risings a protection or a sign or time for you to protect your assets with a kind of ferocity with that dragon purge and or protect energy. So that's what I have for all of the rising signs, just very briefly for this Venus in Scorpio transit. Please do give my video a like if you like what I do and subscribe if you are so inclined, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope you have a beautiful Tuesday due day and rest of the week, and happy Libra season, by the way. And Nick, I can read your comment now. Nick says, hi, natal Venus in Scorpio and 12th house conjunct Uranus. Oh, you have Venus in the 12th house then. Venus has her secret joy in the 12th house. It's a very fascinating placement, Venus in the 12th house. Anyway, I do have to hop on over to TikTok now, so I will see my lovely YouTube Hinsters next time, probably tomorrow with a new video. So stay tuned for that. And I wish you all well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching and commenting. Bye-bye.